Take a deep breath. Now imagine this. You've spent your whole life giving your time, your love, your energy. But as the years pass, who will truly be there for you? Who will lift you up, and who will drain you? The answer might surprise you. But once you understand it, it could change the way you live the rest of your life. Did that make you pause? Have you ever felt like the people you love the most aren't always the ones who bring you peace? What if I told you that avoiding certain people could actually make your life happier and healthier in old age? In today's video, we're diving deep into the 5 types of people you must avoid in old age, even family. These people steal your energy. They take without giving. They can leave you feeling alone, even when you're surrounded by others. If you want to protect your peace, if you want to enjoy your golden years without the weight of toxic relationships, then stay with me until the end. Because what you're about to learn is something no one ever tells you. Let's begin and uncover the hard truth together. As we age, life begins to shift in ways we never expected. The people we once depended on slowly start to drift away. Our children build their own lives. Our friends become distant. And the partner we thought we'd have forever may not always be there. This is the hard truth about aging. Relationships change, and not always for the better. But here's what many people don't realize. Not everyone deserves a place in your life as you grow older. Some people take more than they give. They drain your energy. They leave you feeling exhausted, frustrated, and alone. And if you don't start choosing wisely, these relationships could rob you of the peace and happiness you've spent a lifetime building. So let me ask you, have you ever felt unappreciated? Like you're always giving, but rarely receiving? Have you ever noticed how some people only come to you when they need something, but disappear when you need them? If so, you're not alone. And the good news is, you can protect yourself. Because in the next few minutes, we're going to uncover the 5 types of people you must distance yourself from in old age. Even if they're family. Because your peace matters. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly who to let go, and who is truly worth keeping in your life. Let's dive in. The harsh truth: the older you get, the smaller your circle becomes. Think about the people who once surrounded you. Your spouse, your children, your friends, they were always there. But as the years pass, things change. Your spouse, the one you've shared a lifetime with, may not always be by your side. Your children, no matter how much they love you, have their own families, careers, and responsibilities. And your friends, the ones who once filled your days with laughter, start to fade away. Some move, some grow distant, and some leave this world entirely. This is the unspoken reality of aging, and it happens to everyone. One day, you wake up and realize the circle of people in your life has shrunk. And if you're not prepared for this shift, it can leave you feeling lost, lonely, and forgotten. But here's what you must understand: this is not a reason to fear old age. Instead, it's a wake-up call. A reminder that now, more than ever, you must choose wisely who you allow into your life. Because not everyone deserves a place in your final chapter. And some relationships, they do more harm than good. That's why today, we're going to break down the 5 types of people you must avoid in old age, even if they're family. So you can protect your peace, preserve your energy, and live your golden years with the joy you deserve. Let's begin. A harsh lesson: trusting the wrong people in old age. Let me tell you a story that may sound all too familiar. There was a man named Robert. He spent his whole life believing in family above all else. He worked hard, sacrificed for his children, and was always there when they needed him. He never doubted that when the time came, they would be there for him too. But life doesn't always work that way. After retirement, things started to change. His children got busy with their own families, their own careers, their own responsibilities. The phone calls became less frequent. The visits even rarer. And suddenly, Robert found himself alone. Birthdays passed without celebration, holidays felt quieter, and the home he built with love started to feel empty. It wasn't that his children didn't love him. They did. But their lives had moved forward, and he had placed too much of his happiness in the hands of others. He never learned how to enjoy his own company. He never built a support system outside of family. And as a result, he found himself in a reality he never expected, lonely in a world that once felt so full. Now let me ask you this. Have you ever felt like the people who were once closest to you are slowly drifting away? Have you ever experienced that unsettling feeling that maybe, just maybe, you're not as important to them as they are to you? If so, you are not alone. And most importantly, this is not the end of your story. Because there is still time to rebuild, time to refocus, and time to ensure that your happiness is never dependent on someone else again. But first, you need to know who to let go of and who to hold on to. Let's continue. 5 types of people to avoid when you get old. 1. The manipulator. Have you ever noticed someone who only calls when they need something? Someone who makes you feel guilty for saying no, but never truly gives back? Manipulators are masters of disguise. At first, they seem like they need your help. But over time, their requests turn into expectations. You say yes once, twice, and suddenly, it becomes a pattern. They frame their needs as emergencies, making it feel impossible to refuse. And here's the harsh truth: if you don't set boundaries, they will take as much as you allow. Think about this. How often do they reach out just to check on you? Do they only show up when they need a favor? If the answer is yes, it's time to take control. Protecting your peace is not selfish, it's necessary. Here's what you can do. Set clear boundaries. I'm sorry, but I can't help this time. No explanation needed. Recognize the pattern. If someone always takes but never gives, step back. Prioritize your well-being. You've spent your life helping others, now it's time to protect yourself. Saying no to a manipulator is saying yes to your peace. Real life story: the elderly man taken advantage of. Imagine this. An elderly man, Mr. Thompson, spent his whole life providing for his family. He paid for his children's education, helped them buy homes, and never hesitated to lend a hand. But as he got older, something changed. His phone would only ring when his kids needed money. "Dad, I just need a little help this month." "Grandpa, can you send me something for my bills?" At first, he gave without hesitation. But over time, he noticed something painful. No one ever called just to ask how he was doing. No one checked in to see if he needed anything. The moment he said he couldn't give more, the call stopped. And the silence was deafening. This is the reality for many elderly people, being seen as a financial resource rather than a loved one. How to protect yourself. You are not an ATM. You are not obligated to fund anyone's lifestyle. Here's how you can take control. Learn to say no. I'm sorry, but I can't help this time. You don't owe anyone an explanation. Set financial boundaries. Never lend money you can't afford to lose. Watch for patterns. Do they only call when they need something? If so, reconsider the relationship. Prioritize yourself. You've spent years taking care of others. Now, it's time to take care of you. Saying no isn't cruel. It's self-respect. And the people who truly love you? They'll understand. Point 2. The self-absorbed. Have you ever had a conversation where you felt invisible, like you were just a background character in someone else's life? These people dominate every discussion. Every story is about them. Every problem is bigger than yours. And when you speak, they barely listen. You try to share something meaningful, but before you can finish, they turn the topic back to themselves. It's frustrating, exhausting, and over time, it makes you feel unimportant. But here's the truth: your voice matters. Your experiences matter. And you deserve relationships that go both ways, not just one-sided attention-seeking. So, how do you handle these self-absorbed people? First, set boundaries. If they constantly interrupt, gently say, "Let me finish what I was saying." If they always dismiss your feelings, remind them, "I'd appreciate it if you listened to my perspective too." Second, surround yourself with people who genuinely care. A real friend listens, engages, and values what you have to say. Ask yourself this: When was the last time this person asked how you were doing and actually waited for an answer? Signs to watch for. They only talk about themselves. They never truly listen to others. No matter what you say, they find a way to turn the conversation back to their own experiences. You share something important? They barely acknowledge it, or worse, they use it as a chance to talk about their own problems. Over time, you realize your words don't matter to them, only their story does. Real life story. She spent her entire life helping others. Always there when someone needed support, always the first to offer a helping hand. But when the time came, when SHE needed help, no one was there. She called, but the phone stayed silent. She reached out, but no one reached back. The same people she had once sacrificed for? They had moved on, too busy, too distracted, too uninterested. And that's when she realized. She had spent a lifetime giving, but had never asked who was truly there for her. How to handle it. It's time to set boundaries. Not everyone deserves your time, your energy, your kindness. Start asking yourself, does this person give as much as they take? Do they truly care about you, or are you just an audience to their life? If a relationship is one-sided, it's time to step back. Invest in people who listen, support, and uplift you, not just those who expect you to always be there for them. Your golden years should be filled with mutual respect, real conversations, and meaningful connections. And that starts with you, choosing who is worth your time. You've spent years being there for others, but now, it's time to be there for yourself. If someone never listens, never cares, and never gives back, ask yourself, why am I still holding on? It's okay to step away from relationships that drain you. It's not selfish, it's self-respect. Start with small changes. Limit conversations with people who only talk about themselves. Redirect the topic when they dominate discussions. Spend more time with those who genuinely value you. Your time is precious. Give it to people who appreciate it, and protect your peace from those who don't. You're right to call that out. Let me rewrite it immediately without any icons and ensure it's in the exact format you requested. The critic, the person who always makes you feel not good enough. Do you have someone in your life who always makes you feel like you're never enough? Someone who criticizes every choice you make instead of supporting you? The hidden damage of constant criticism. Criticism, when constructive, can help us grow. But some people don't offer advice to help, they tear you down to lift themselves up. They nitpick your decisions, mock your efforts, and remind you of past failures, all while claiming they have your best interests at heart. The truth? Constant criticism can be just as harmful as physical harm. It chips away at your self-worth, creates self-doubt, and over time, can lead to stress, anxiety, and even depression. Imagine this, you excitedly tell a friend or relative about a new hobby you've picked up, maybe painting, learning a new language, or even joining a fitness class. Instead of encouragement, they scoff. At your age? Why even bother? That's a waste of time. You should be doing something more practical. Suddenly, that spark of joy fades. You question yourself. You hesitate. You stop. Criticism from loved ones is the hardest to ignore because we care about their opinions. But here's the truth, you don't need anyone's permission to enjoy your life. How to handle the critic in your life. Recognize their behavior, understand that their words say more about them than you. Many critics project their own insecurities onto others. Don't argue, set boundaries. Instead of defending yourself, calmly say, I appreciate your opinion, but I'm happy with my choices. I've thought about it, and this is what works for me. Surround yourself with positivity, seek people who uplift you, not those who make you doubt yourself. Life is too short to be lived under someone else's judgment. You've earned the right to live on your own terms. Don't let a critic steal your joy. Real life story, the man who was never enough. There was a man named Robert. His whole life, he had been the kind of person who always helped others, whether it was family, friends, or neighbors. But no matter what he did, it was never enough. His sister constantly criticized his choices. You're not smart with your money. Why don't you dress better? You should have done more with your life. His own children, now adults, often dismissed his advice. They would roll their eyes or change the subject when he spoke. If he tried something new, like learning to play the piano or joining a book club, someone always had a sarcastic remark. Yet, when those same people needed something, money, a favor, a ride to the airport, Robert was always there. He gave, forgave, and never said no. One day, he found himself alone on his birthday. The same people who constantly judged him were too busy to call. That's when he realized, no matter how much he tried to please them, he would never be enough for people who only knew how to criticize. That day, Robert made a choice to stop proving himself to those who would never appreciate him and to start living for himself. Lesson: you cannot change a critic, but you can change how much space you allow them to take in your life. How to protect yourself: take back control over your emotions. Criticism can be painful, especially when it comes from family or people we care about. But here's the truth: you have the power to decide how much their words affect you. Recognize the pattern. Critics often repeat the same negative comments. If you notice a pattern, remind yourself, this is about them, not me. Their words are a reflection of their own insecurities, not your worth. Don't engage in arguments. Trying to defend yourself against constant criticism is exhausting. Instead of reacting emotionally, try saying, I appreciate your opinion, but I'm happy with my choices. I understand that's how you see it, but I feel differently. Keep your response short and firm. You don't need to justify yourself. Shift your focus to supportive people. Spend time with those who uplift and encourage you. When you surround yourself with people who respect you, the critic's words will start to lose their power. Practice emotional detachment. Imagine a shield around you. When a critic speaks, let their words bounce off instead of sinking in. Tell yourself, their opinion does not define me. I know my worth. The more you practice this, the easier it gets. Know when to walk away. If someone constantly makes you feel small, it's okay to distance yourself. Protecting your peace is not selfish, it's necessary. At the end of the day, you control how much influence others have over your emotions. Don't give the critic the power to ruin your happiness. You deserve better. The irresponsible. Have you ever felt like you're carrying someone else's burdens? Taking care of problems that aren't yours? Worrying about people who should be responsible for themselves? Let me tell you the hard truth. Some people will take advantage of your kindness. They see your generosity, your willingness to help, and they use it. At first, it seems small. Maybe they borrow money, ask for favors, or lean on you when things go wrong. But over time, it becomes a pattern. And before you know it, their problems become your problems. And here's the worst part: they never change, because they don't have to. Signs of an irresponsible person. They always seem to be in trouble, but never fix their mistakes. Every crisis is urgent, and you are their first call. They guilt trip you: you're the only one who can help me. No matter how much you do, it's never enough. How do you know if someone in your life is taking advantage of your kindness? Here are the clear warning signs. They always have a crisis. There's always some drama, some emergency, some urgent problem, and somehow, you're always the one expected to fix it. They never take responsibility. Nothing is ever their fault. They blame bad luck, other people, or the unfair world, but never themselves. They expect you to bail them out. Need money? Need a place to stay? Need you to fix their mistakes? Instead of finding solutions, they just run to you. They make you feel guilty for saying no. They know exactly what to say to make you feel obligated. They use emotional pressure, guilt tripping, or even anger to manipulate you into helping. They never change. No matter how many times you help them, their situation stays the same. Why? Because they're not learning. They're just relying on you. If any of this sounds familiar, it's time to take a step back. Let me ask you, who in your life fits this description? Think about it, and let's talk in the comments. A father who gave too much. John was a retired man who loved his son. Every time his son needed money, John gave it, believing he was helping. $100 here, $500 there, thousands over the years. But the son never changed. He never found stability. He never tried. Because he didn't have to. One day, John realized something. I'm not helping him. I'm keeping him weak. That day, he made a decision. No more handouts. No more rescues. It was time for his son to grow up. And you know what happened? His son struggled for a while, but then he figured it out. How to protect yourself. Recognize the pattern. Some people never change because they don't have to. If you always save them, why should they take responsibility? Set boundaries. Next time they ask for help, try this. I'm not in a position to help right now. I trust you'll figure this out. Let them face the consequences. It's hard, but some people only learn when they have to. Focus on your peace. You deserve to live without unnecessary stress. You've done your part. How to protect yourself. If you recognize an irresponsible person in your life, it's time to set boundaries. Here's how. Stop enabling them. The more you rescue them, the less they learn. Step back and let them face the consequences of their actions. Learn to say no, and mean it. You don't need to explain yourself. A simple, firm "I can't help with that" is enough. If they push back, stand your ground. Set clear boundaries. If they only reach out when they need something, don't engage. Your time and energy are valuable. Give them only what you choose, not what they demand. Don't feel guilty. They may try to make you feel bad, but remember, it's not your job to fix their life. Your well-being matters too. Surround yourself with supportive people. Instead of spending your energy on those who drain you, invest in relationships that uplift and respect you. At this stage in life, your peace comes first. If someone refuses to take responsibility for themselves, that's their problem, not yours. Let me ask you, what's one boundary you need to set today? So let me ask you, who in your life is leaning on you too much? Drop a yes in the comments if you've experienced this. Let's talk about it. And if you're finding these lessons helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with someone who needs to hear this. Because your peace matters. The ungrateful. Nothing hurts more than dedicating your whole life to others, only to realize they never truly appreciated you. The deepest pain of old age. One of the hardest truths to accept is this: people often take kindness for granted. You sacrifice for your children, but as they grow, they may not acknowledge everything you've done. You support family members, but when you need them, they're nowhere to be found. You give your time, love, and wisdom, yet some people never say thank you. This is not just a small disappointment, it is a deep emotional wound. And sadly, it happens far too often. How to recognize the ungrateful. They expect your help but never offer theirs. They only contact you when they need something. They dismiss your efforts as if they were nothing special. They never acknowledge your sacrifices as if they were entitled to them. Real life example, a grandmother's heartbreak. She raised him from the moment he was born. She stayed up late when he was sick, cooked his favorite meals, sacrificed her own needs to give him a better life. For years, she thought, he will always love me. He will take care of me when I'm old, just like I took care of him. But as he grew up, things changed. At first, he visited less. Then, he stopped calling. When she needed help, he was too busy. And one day, he was gone. No gratitude. No appreciation. Just silence. She sat alone, wondering, did everything I do mean nothing? This is the painful reality many elders face. They give everything, expecting nothing but love in return, only to be forgotten. But here's the truth: love should be mutual. If someone cannot respect and appreciate your sacrifices, they don't deserve your endless devotion. What about you? Have you ever given everything to someone, only to feel abandoned in the end? How to protect yourself. Stop giving to those who don't appreciate it. Your kindness is a gift, not an obligation. Set limits. If someone never values what you do, give them less. See if they notice. Find people who do appreciate you. Your time is precious. Spend it with those who value your presence. Speak up. Sometimes, people don't realize they've been ungrateful. A simple "I felt hurt when" can open their eyes. Focus on yourself. You deserve peace, joy, and happiness, not endless disappointment. At this stage in life, your energy should be spent on those who truly love and value you. If someone treats you like an afterthought, stop making them a priority. Let me ask you, have you ever felt unappreciated? How did you handle it? Learn to love yourself and live. After everything, the only person who will walk with you until the very end is you. For years, you've given your love, time, and energy to others. You've been a parent, a spouse, a friend, a caregiver. But now, it's time to ask yourself, what about me? Happiness doesn't come from waiting for others to appreciate you. It doesn't come from hoping someone will fill the emptiness inside. Because the moment you rely on others for happiness, you give them the power to take it away. A new mindset, happiness comes from within. Instead of seeking love, be love. Instead of waiting for joy, create joy. What if, starting today, you made yourself the priority? Not in a selfish way, but in a way that finally honors your needs, dreams, and well-being. How to cultivate inner happiness. Nurture your mind, read, learn, and explore new ideas. Growth doesn't stop with age. Take care of your body, exercise, eat well, and get enough rest. Treat yourself like someone you love. Enjoy your own company, take yourself on walks, enjoy a quiet cup of coffee, or try a new hobby. Surround yourself with positivity, spend time with people who uplift and appreciate you. Let go of those who drain your energy. Practice gratitude. Instead of dwelling on what's missing, focus on what you still have. Your life, your happiness. Happiness isn't found in people or circumstances or what others give you. It's found in you. So ask yourself, are you someone you'd want to spend forever with? Because at the end of the day, your relationship with yourself is the most important one you'll ever have. Make it one filled with love, respect, and happiness. Practical actions to embrace happiness. Learn to enjoy silence. Being alone doesn't have to mean being lonely. Find peace in quiet moments. Invest in your interests. Do things that bring you joy, whether it's painting, gardening, or simply enjoying a good book. Engage with new communities, join clubs, attend events, and build meaningful connections with people who truly appreciate you. If you were completely on your own, would you still feel happy? Your answer to this question can change everything. Have you ever found yourself in these situations? If so, share your story in the comments below. Your experience might help someone else realize they're not alone. Remember, you have the power to choose a life of peace and happiness. Drop a comment and let us know your thoughts. Like and subscribe so you never miss another life-changing video. Share this message with someone who needs to hear it today. Your journey to a happier, more fulfilling life starts now.